Real fast, right? Top of the morning, I wanted to not reply, but respond to Blue Devil's video he did earlier. Not just his video, but a comment that he made about being solid and what he said about no paper podcast. They're standing on business. Is it gonna hurt them business wise? Yeah, he said yeah, because when you stand on business, like he said, we tend to put our morals in our codes from the streets before business, right? And that hurts us because that it's the same way with me. Like if you think about it, right? I started this channel in December of last year. I only have like 298 subscribers, but I have over 100, like 100 and some thousand views. So that's equivalent to somebody that has 5,000 views, I think they say. So I'm getting a lot of views. People are, they're tuning into my shorts, they're tuning into whatever, but I'm not getting people to subscribe. That's the reason, because you got to understand social media is dominated by non-affiliates. Only a small percentage of people give a hoot about prison and gangs. It's only in California really is where it's a thrive. But the culture and all that, they don't care about that anywhere else. They don't. So most people in all these other states, they don't gangbang. Most people are, because you got to think about the people that have time to get on YouTube are people with jobs and with Wi-Fi, right? People that are in the streets running around, they don't have time for that. So it's a different different audience is we would be targeting in a sense, right? So when you stand on business, like the way they're not going to have old boy coming, that dude Moose coming to their show, to their channel anymore. A lot of people will look at that as a business opportunity that they wouldn't want anything to do with because of stuff like that. But in our eyes, in my eyes, I see that you're supposed to do that. But in everybody else's eyes, dog, in the regular person's eyes, a regular Joe and Becky and all them, if you're scared, you're gonna call the cops. That's how a regular person thinks. So, but he was dead right. Like, it's hard to be solid and be active and succeed on social media because our principles and our way of conducting ourselves, or the way we navigate, is completely different than not a square. I'm not going to say a square, but a law-abiding citizen. So I always try to make that point to a lot of people, but people don't understand it. It's like when you're doing everything as the streets, you're living by the street rules, the codes, the ethics, everything from the streets. You have a ceiling over your head that you'll never be able to pass because the restraints are gonna stop you from doing that. I'll see people doing videos, and they'll be like, why do we gotta cause division between our gente? Why can't we just all get along? Because you gotta understand, some people don't want to be around rats. Some people don't want to be around child molesters. Some people don't want to be around all that. So if we say it, people look at us like they like if something's wrong with us. But it's not wrong with the people that are doing the crimes. Like think about it. It has become so sensitive, soft, that you can't say a lot of things anymore without anybody getting hurt, right? But it's because of the things that people accept now. Like before, if you were a PC, you like nobody's seen you. Like you were like a myth. Now they're everywhere. That's because of acceptance. What's next? Sexual predators, child molesters. Think that's how things start to happen, is because acceptance. When you accept, you can't complain about. This is what I trip out. People cry and complain about things that they accept. You cannot complain about something that you're okay with. That doesn't make no sense. So when when you try to stand on business and run a business, like right, I don't mean to bring this dude up because I'm not trying to take shots at him, but this is a perfect example. High power fitness, right? He has a really good thing with the workout fitness. He has the look. He has the he's his own marketing team. He's his own salesman, because you look at him and you're like, when it comes to working out and fitness, you're gonna really pay attention to him because the old man has size. He's the dude is cut up. He has a good look. You know what I mean? He looks good. So as somebody that wants to work out, because there's a lot of people that's huge right now. That's huge. Working out and fitness, eating right, that is so good. That is like one of the biggest things you can do right now. Like as far as making money in a hustle, especially if you look like him. He sells the whole thing. It's a perfect sales and pitch. It's perfect. But when you start talking about prison politics and gangs, it puts a limit over him. And I told him from the gate, dude, and this is all I've ever told him: leave the bullshit alone, old man. And if you do that, and you talked about other stuff, this music, and you just left the gangs and and all the gossip and shit alone, he would blow up. He would blow up. He would blow up. He could probably have a team of people working with him. He would blow up. But when you bring that stigma, the gangs, the prison culture, to a business platform, you're limiting yourself, because a lot of people don't want to deal with that. And then the people that comes with people that are in business, they're not going to want to deal with that. They're not going to want to deal with that. You got to think like a tycoon. You know, he's a perfect example. If you leave this shit alone, the gang talk, the prison talks, you'll go to a whole nother level. You'll go to a whole nother level. But when you're stuck in that realm, it stops you from to venturing out, and it stops people from wanting to connect with you. So now think about it. Why would people want to connect with me when I'm dealing with a smaller percentage? You understand me? Now the gang life culture, that's already small. Now I'm dealing with on a selected few inside that circle. You have to be active. You can't have like that. That's me, dog. And you see that social media is dominated by people that favor with that lifestyle that we gangs are for losers, or it's a propaganda that they're selling you. You know, they're all a bunch of hypocrites. The normal person wants to hear you say that, so that's why they feed that. I would never tell somebody to join a gang, but you're not going to hear me tell anybody to get out of it either, or to stop it. So that's going to limit me, right? Because when you see me, you see the shit that I'm talking, or me being disrespectful, but that's not who I am. That's who that's who I am at that second, or at that time. But the thing is that I trip on is that everybody on social media that runs their mouth, as soon as you get called out and say, what's up with the pull up? What's up with that? Let's just make this happen. All of a sudden you're mature. You don't do kid shit. You have kids. You're married. You got a business. Where was all that shit when you're running your mouth? You cannot be disrespectful and then all of a sudden become you're this mature father that don't fight. It don't work like that. You get disrespected, it's in your nature to want to take off on somebody. You guys don't get the right to disrespect somebody and then say, oh, I don't fight because I'm mature. Where was that shit at when you were being disrespectful? You see what I'm saying? It's just weird. So being active, we can't think about it. We got to go against our own homies. We got to worry about who flips on us. We got to worry about going to the administration now to CDC. It's against, like, damn near against the law to be active. They want everybody to be SNY. And people are accepting it because on social media, that's the way to the bag, is to make sure that you baby these PCs, because nobody wants to stand on business and be the nice guy, or be do the dirty job, dirty work. And that's me. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to bend for nobody, and I'm probably not going to blow up as fast as I should. But sooner or later I'll get there, you know. But I'm not gonna cut corners, and I'm not gonna sell myself out, and I'm not gonna go against everything that I gave my life to, you know. Like, that doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make no sense at all. So it's really hard to be active. The only one that's really done it is Zod. He's the only one that's done it without, as a homie, as far as a homie that's active, that's doing it without PC help, is Zod. Zod's doing it. Uh, I say Lucky is another one. I don't know about his whole past, but since I've been here, he doesn't really do it. But I can't say that for everybody else. I know I don't do it. So everybody else, they all got that stigma. So it's hard to be active and try to do anything and be successful in this little realm, because the PCs and the non-affiliates and all that, they have this uh, um, the same narrative that they're all chasing. Stay out of jail, stay out away from the neighborhood, raise your kids. The PCs are only saying that because they can't go back nowhere. They can't be accepted on the street. So that's what they're going to sell, and that's what the people are going to go for. But all reality is the homies that are active, that are the ones that are in the community. We're the ones that are working. We're the ones that are taking our kids to school. They can't do none of that. You guys got it backwards, man. Cool, be safe. I'm high as hell. I'm gonna drop another video later. I'm trying to flood it with videos. And remember, subscribe. It's highly appreciated. Trying to get this channel going. So if I do have to turn myself in, there's money coming in from all different avenues. So it just makes things easier on my girl, so I don't gotta ask her for nothing. And plus, I'd rather contribute. So I can't contribute without subscribers. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking for subscriptions. That's it. And that's free. That shit's free. You guys be cool, be safe. Stay away from these suckers and jakeheads. Stand on business. Stand on. If you ain't about that business, don't run your mouth like you are. You guys be cool, be safe.